In the world of shifting boundaries and rising walls, India stands at a crossroads. The ripples of distant decisions reaches our markets, our streets, and ultimately our lives.
Can India turn a global setback into its next leap forward? From New Delhi to New York, every tariff is a message of power written through policy. What began as a policy in Washington now unfolds on India's dockyards, where exports wait and uncertainty ships in bulk.
So, in the mid of 2025, the United States imposed 25% tariffs on Indian exports. And the situation worsens pretty soon because the United States imposes a punitive 25% tariff on Indian exports again. And this is a very deep blow to Indian exports and the US-India trade relationships because these tariffs hit all across the board. And I'm talking about textiles, I'm talking about aquaculture, I'm talking about gems, all these kinds of things. Simultaneously, Indian imports of oil from Russia also get hit. And this was the real deep cut.
Because in each of these containers, there is more than just goods. These containers carry livelihoods, connections, and a promise of growth. But tariffs don't just tax products, they test partnerships. Because as trade slows down, India stands at the intersection of dependence and determination. From factory floors to all these family-run shops, the tariffs travel fast. The numbers are global, but the impact deeply local.
So, tariffs like these actually have a human cost, because textile hubs like these, they employ millions of people, from cotton fields to retail shops and to the weaving mills. So what happens is, because of the tariffs, the orders slow down and the margins shrink, and these jobs, as a result, hang in balance. So these tariffs, they put a lot of strain on these businesses. Because as their competitiveness erodes, global buyers will look elsewhere. The rupee has fallen over 5% since May 2025. And normally, a weaker rupee is a good thing for the exports because a weaker rupee means exporters will be going to earn more in dollars. But this time, the export orders are down because of the tariffs and the imports cost more. So when you combine them, the inflationary pressures increase. It's a double-edged sword, complicating an already fragile economic situation.
Pharma faces a 100% tariff on branded medicines, but generic drugs, India's stronghold, remain mostly unaffected. The IT sector, long reliant on H-1B visas to send talent to the US, now faces a massive fee hike, threatening margins and hiring more. Global chains are shifting. Pharma finds new buyers in Asia and Africa, while IT is adjusting to a world that values strength and stability more than expansion. The message is clear: adapt or be sidelined.
Rising global trade tensions and the threat of US tariffs keep testing market confidence, yet India's economy remains anchored by strong domestic drivers, and much of this uncertainty is already factored in to the market expectations. India's broad export base, resilient local demand, and a strong institutional backing continue to support stability and growth in earnings. And while these external headwinds may cause some short-term ripples, but on the whole, the country's long-term equity outlook remains firmly on track.
Tariffs may shake branches, but the roots run deep. Because India's mercantile roots are in enterprise, in adaptability, and in sheer persistence. And they hold firm.
The path ahead demands diversification. And that means stronger domestic consumption, new export destinations, and strategic partnerships. As they say, change is the only constant. And I think that applies to India as well because India's story continues and it's being shaped by not just global politics, but also by its own spirit within itself.